What's going on, guys? It's Madman Plant. We're here back at day number 2, and 40 Tons was nice enough to let us use their space to shoot this great interview. This is David, and you are with
High
Spin
and
Around,
Tide.
High and Tide, and we're going to talk a little bit about small cultivation and the process of small people getting into the game. So you just recently got what?
A micro business license in Missouri. So I got in on the social equity program in Missouri. This is designed to get the little guys a chance to get in the cannabis industry. So people that are socially disadvantaged in some kind of way, like poor people, people that haven't been to a U.S. accredited school. I got in because I'm a disabled veteran.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And why do you think that this is good? And do you think that there's any challenges or hurdles that you have to face compared to like big business?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. I think there's a lot of challenges that the little guys face. We have a lot of trouble with financing. A lot of these big guys that get in, they already have the money to build out the facilities that we need. And a lot of banks won't provide financing. It's still federally illegal. So that makes it a big challenge for us, for the little guys trying to get in.
Now, how does this business grant kind of elevate you in that space so you have a chance?
Well, it gives me the opportunity to get in, you know what I mean? So now I have a license. I've passed minimum standards just in October, so I'm really excited. I'm going to be able to,
Congratulations.
yeah, I'm excited about building out my high and tight dispensary in Kansas City, Missouri. It's going to be small batch stuff. One of the other big challenges that we face as a micro business in Missouri is that the cultivation facilities are only allowed 250 flowering plants. So how I compete with the big guys is by doing craft cannabis and top shelf stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, are you the first person in your area or your state to be a part of this, or are there other people that are actively getting their licenses and opportunities as well?
That's a great question. Yeah. There are a couple of facilities that are already commenced. One of them is a good friend of mine, Daphne from Bloom LLC. She's doing a great job. There's 2 wholesale facilities that are growing right now. There's some more hopefully coming online soon, but right now there's no dispensaries. Another friend of mine, Jimmy Poe, with 816 Dispensary, is probably going to be the first one to open up his dispensary in the Kansas City area, Platte City.
Now, are you guys in like correlation, like trying to work together, or do you think it's a strong competitive market where people are really going to be keeping their distance until they're solidified? Or
Another great question. All of the micro business license winners feel like we all are going to have to work together to make this thing work. It's going to be a partnership. And in that spirit, in fact, I started hosting a weekly call that I do for the micro business community. So once a week, I have a couple guests on maybe, and then I open it up for community discussion so we can all talk about the things that concern the micro business community in Missouri.
and what would you say the top 3 concerns would be that they're experiencing?
A lot of people are struggling finding financing. Location is another thing.
Is that because of zoning issues and the stigma around, oh, I don't want to be associated near a grow facility?
100%, 100%. I have a friend that actually bought some land legally. It was within all the zoning requirements, but then like some concerned citizens came forward and were like, no, we don't want this, and they're still going to be able to go forward, but it slowed the whole process
Yeah, slow
down.
down.
Yeah.
Well, that's the power of just not giving up or giving into it, is the power that you one day get what you want. And I think that's the value of trying.
Sure.
Is, it all could blow up in your face, but then again, it all could just work.
I agree. Right.
So with this being said, how do you think you and High and Tight will change the market, especially for veterans?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. I hope in my dispensary to be able to provide private consultations for people that come in. Like, I've seen people walk into a dispensary and been like looking for something, and they're looking around and confused and they don't really know what they want. Maybe they're concerned about talking about their personal medical issues in front of a sales floor crowded with strangers, right?
Yeah.
So I want to do private consultations. And since I'm a veteran, I know how to cater to veterans' needs with PTSD.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there's other things that are going on out there that people might not want to talk about in front of other people. So when people come in my store, hopefully they'll find a welcoming environment, and they'll also become educated.
I think, yeah, and we talked a lot about this on the podcast throughout the week and everything, and that's what MJ BizCon is. It is education, and when we fight different things and stigmas, education I think is the strongest suit. And like you said earlier, touched back on some of it. We need the community to be as one, because if not, it's too
100%.
divided, and then we're just fighting ourselves. And you see that a lot with creators. You see that a lot with businesses, and it shouldn't be like this. There's not enough dispensaries in the world right now if everyone decided to smoke weed tomorrow to satisfy. So,
That's true.
and I think also too is when you have diversity in markets, you create options for people. And you create different types of vibes. I like this place because it looks like this, and I know this, or I like this place because this. Like it's just much like restaurants, like Cafe Rio and Chipotle. They're very similar in food. They're almost kind of the same, but the insides are different.
Completely
And the
different.
menus are different.
Completely different
And they're
experience.
circulated the food differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like the idea of having a blended market, but also understanding that, in business, it's like one of those things where it's all is fair in love and war. And that's why I think in business, you have to take chances like you are doing. You have to be number one sometimes, and really set a standard, because in this kind of space, we're still so new that there is no set standard, and that's what I was saying earlier on the podcast too. And another one is you have so much opportunity to cut out a niche market in this industry right now, making your own and still live a legacy because it's still that new.
Right, for sure, 100%. Yeah, I have an opportunity to build my brand and do something wonderful for the community.
Well, and also veterans, and especially anybody with mental health. And you don't have to be a veteran to have mental health, but the idea is we're combating mental health, suicide, depression,
Oh my
anxiety,
God, serious
all
problems with
the
a lot of
things
veterans have. Yeah.
that alcohol obviously isn't curing. Prescription drugs are just making it worse. I can be a component of that. It's just I like what you're doing. So with everything that you're doing, what's the next steps? How do we go forward? Like, you need funding, so we're looking for investors or people to help you out with that.
Correct.
Location and space.
Yep, that's exactly correct.
And
Yep.
then have you thought about like what genetics and seeds you're gonna run, like what lighting, anything like that?
Well, as a dispensary, I'm not allowed to grow any product in Missouri.
Oh, so it's retail only. So will
Retail
you work
only.
with home growers as well as more commercial size farms, or?
In Missouri, the way the micro business program is set up is we can only do business with other micro businesses. Right?
Oh, that's
So
kind of cool.
it is kind of cool. So that really gives us all an opportunity to really focus on that craft cannabis thing. Because like I said, 250 flowering plants is what each licensee is limited to growing.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, grow big plants to maximize their canopy space. A lot of them are trying to do that.
Yeah.
But how we compete is we got to have better stuff than the other guys have, that top shelf stuff. And I want to come in and have it be a deli style experience.
Well, I also want to touch on, other than just better stuff than the other guy, I think, the micro, and that's why even micro influencers with small numbers, is I think if you care enough, you can have a greater impact on it, because you can understand, like you touched earlier, about your customers' needs, what they're looking for, how to help them, how to, help treat whatever they're going through. And that's the true definition of medical cannabis, And then also, too, is, anybody can just go out and sell weed, get cool brands like Dime Industries or, all these other people and say, yeah, we got it. But if your customer service sucks, you don't know your customer, you're not really a part of the community, you're just here to make money, you're definitely not going to make money. You're going to just be gone in years. And I think, from talking to you, you can bring that level of passion and that level of empathy to the market, and I think you're going to do very well.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that vibe. That's awesome, brother.
Yeah, well, it's cool. And it's cool for everybody that's watching. So as we wrap this up on our 10 minutes, we'll get you on a longer 2-hour session.
Okay. Right on.
How can we support and find you?
Oh, well, you can look me up. I'm on Facebook, David Huckins on Facebook. And you can also look me up on the internet, mohightight.com.
Perfect, guys. We have more podcasts coming your way here at MJ BizCon. We'll see you very, very soon.